lot of our clients look back at the hours and days after they were injured caused by the negligence of someone else, and our clients wish they would have done something differently. When you're injured, what do you do? Unless you've been through this before, you're likely not going to know what you should do, what you should not do. So, what should you do? Well, obviously, if there's an emergency medical situation, get the medical treatment. Make sure that if someone's hurt, that emergency issues are taken care of. After that, if you're at the scene of a crash or you're at a store where someone slipped and fell on water, if you're able to get photographs of the water, the store, the aisle where the slip and fall happened, of the intersection of the crash, vehicles, the other drivers' information, license plate, driver's license, etc., witness information, do that. If you're past that point, if you're sitting in an emergency room waiting for treatment or waiting for your loved one to get treatment, is there anything that you can do then, or anything you can do in the next few days to help yourself, to make sure that evidence is preserved and that you don't do something wrong to hurt your claim? The answer is yes. There are lots of things you can do, and also things that you should not do in order to help yourself or help your loved one. So one thing you need to do is make sure that you're following your doctor's orders. So if you go to the emergency room and they refer you on to someone else, refer you to an orthopedic surgeon and set up an appointment in 2 days, or tell you to go to your primary care physician, guess what? Go to the orthopedic surgeon, go to the primary care physician. Do not skip that appointment. Make sure you're doing what your doctors are telling you should be done. If you don't do this, the insurance company will argue that you would have gotten better if you just would have followed the instructions. It's called a failure to mitigate damages. You have a duty to follow basic instructions, take reasonable steps to make yourself better, to get treatment. Another reason why you want to make sure you follow up on this, on medical treatment, if told to do so, is that if you don't do that, the insurance companies will argue, well, you couldn't have been hurt that badly. I mean, after all, you had a doctor's appointment that you skipped, you canceled. Why would you cancel the doctor's appointment if you were in so much pain, you were having problems? Next thing you need to do is make sure that any other evidence is preserved. How do you do that? Well, you need to send what's called an evidentiary preservation letter, or if it's dealing with video, a video preservation letter, to the other parties, to any adjacent store or gas station that might have a camera, showing the intersection where a crash happened, for example. You need to send these letters out to make sure that the video is preserved, to make sure that the black box of any vehicle that records vehicle information is preserved. If you were hit by a semi-truck, there's all types of records and information that they keep, a dash cam probably, that needs to be preserved. And if you don't send these letters, there's a good chance it's going to get recorded over or otherwise discarded. The next thing you need to worry about, make sure you do, is make sure you're hitting any deadlines. If an injury just happened, you're probably not right on top of a deadline, but the closer you get to the deadline, the more problematic it is, especially if you need to find information. You need to find out the names of property owners. You need to find out the official name of a business. And there are different deadlines. One of them is the Indiana tort claim notice deadline. That deals in part with the injury aspect of it. In regard to property aspect of it, you're probably thinking, if it's a car crash, you're thinking, well, how do I get my vehicle repaired? So to do that, if you have auto insurance, you need to contact your own auto insurance company and make that claim to have your vehicle repaired or be compensated for that. If ideally, you don't want to deal with the other insurance company, even though people think, well, why should I go through my own insurance company if someone else caused a crash? Shouldn't I go through them? There's lots of reasons not to do that. There's another video that we made about that. Don't want to talk to the other insurance company, because anything you say, they can use against you. So again, ideally, you would have talked to an attorney by this point. But if you have not, don't give a statement to the insurance company. In regard to your own insurance company, you can communicate that there was a crash. You can communicate the basic issues in regards to the property damage, because if you have what most people call full coverage, it's going to include collision coverage, which means that you can have your own insurance company pay for the auto damage or pay money for you, the fair market value for you to get another vehicle. So obviously to do that, you need to talk to your insurance company. If you read your insurance policy, you have an obligation to cooperate with your insurance company in order for them to cover your damages, your property damages. However, even in that situation, we advise don't talk about your injuries, don't make a statement even to your own insurance company about your injuries, because just like the other insurance company, that can be used against you. Now, if you already have some contact, or the other insurance company has been contacting you, you probably can make the assumption that the other person is covered, has insurance, right? But if they don't have insurance, you probably have an uninsured motorist coverage with your own insurance company, which means that your own insurance company is going to be your opponent. So everything, just like with the other insurance company, anything you say can be used against you. Your own insurance company will use that against you. They know the tricks, you don't. One of the many reasons why we encourage you to speak, at minimum, at least speak to an attorney. Even if you decide not to hire an attorney, speak to a professional who's been through this before and can help you make a wise and informed decision. If you have any questions about this or any other issues, you can call me, Jameson Allen, Marc Lopez Law, 317-632-3642. Stay safe.